Okay, so welcome back to a new series with the MINILOGUE XD making sounds. So this is how it's gonna go. First, I'm gonna show you a couple of patches, and then we're gonna start breaking it down and just build the patch from the ground up. If you want to download the patches, everything is on the description. Go to the links in the description and you can get the patches for free. So this video is the first one of a series. It's gonna be like 7 or 8 videos. And on this one, we are gonna do some keys and we're gonna do some pads. So if you like all of this, remember that you can like and subscribe, please. And if you want to buy me a coffee, you can go to the links of the description. Right, so let's just begin. So we're gonna build some keys on this one, and this is the configuration of the panel. You need to have it like this, and it's very simple. Only one oscillator up on the mixer. Everything is gonna be in the middle of the pitch, and the ADSR, everything's down, but the sustain, and it's just gonna sound like this. And I'm always gonna start from an initial patch. Right, so on the oscillator land, I'm going to stay on the first one. I'm going to go to, and we are going to be in poly on this one, right? So all the way up. So we're going to go to a saw, and then I'm going to go to this range, and instantly with this one up and everything down, it's going to sound just like the default patch, just like a saw. Now I'm gonna bring the oscillator number 2 all the way up, but in this one I'm gonna stand in a triangle, and we're gonna decide later if you want to stay on this range or go to this one. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it right here, and it's gonna sound like this. Now both oscillators, the pitch is right at the center, so I'm gonna be offsetting this one maybe 4 cents or 4 or 5 cents up. And the other one is going to be detuned to the other side, maybe 1 or 2 cents down. So we are just separating the oscillators just a little bit. So sync and ring are going to be all the way down. We are not going to use the shape, and we are not going to use the cross mode on this one. And now we need to decide how much filter we're going to do. Right now it's all the way down, but we just can cut off the frequencies. And I'm going to be staying around 75%, something like that, around there. And I'm going to be adding a little bit of resonance, just a little bit of resonance, almost like, I don't know, 20%. That looks like 20 or maybe, 15, 17%, something like that. If we don't like it later, we just can change it. Now, in terms right here of the drive, I'm going to be going to the 50% because I want a little bit more. And it's going to start sounding like that. Now we need to take care of the envelopes, and this one I'm going to go all the way down on the amp EEG. I'm going to go up on the attack decay around like 60 or 55%. Sustain is going to be all the way up, and the release, I'm going to make it a long release. And as soon as we do this, maybe 60%, it will already starts to sound like good old keys. Right? It's because we have that long release. And we get the long sustain, now the long release in this case. The voices will last long. So okay, so let's take care of the filter. We are not going to do much because the filter is pretty much open. So we're going to do just a little bit of movement right here. So I'm going to go there, stand on the cutoff, and we are going to be doing like 5. It's just a notch, just a little bit. Now the attack is going to be all the way down, and I'm going to go to the decay and do almost around 55%, something like that. So it's going to be very short. We can go more aggressively and just decide, if we want more or not. I believe that's just too much. So again, I'm just going to leave it on 10%. Let's say 10%, all right? And it's positive 10%. If we go to this side, it's going to be negative, so we want positive. Now, I want to do a little bit of pitch modulation just to get that old vintage keys. So we are going to be standing on the pitch on the LFO, and right now I'm going to go to the intensity. And again, we are not going to be doing a lot, right? Because it's just way too much. Maybe I'm going to stand right here at 50%, and we are going to see how it sounds. I'm going to go to a triangle, and it's going to be normal. So as soon as I do it, that's not what we want, right? So I'm going to go all the way down, and I'm going to do like 5%. Just to get, that vibe. And first, let me just see how fast are we going. If I go all the way down, maybe on the 40%, I believe that one is going to be cool. Now again, we need to go down until it feels vintage enough. So I believe, yeah, on 10%, it's fine, right? You can do even less. Or if you like, for the detune to be aggressive, you can go more. It's completely up to you. Right here, I'm just showing you some patches, but at the end of the day, this is your patch. You can take what we do right here and make it your own and make your changes. Maybe do a little bit of key tracking. That would be a good idea if we use... If you're gonna play it like that, right? If you're gonna play on the low part of the keyboard and high part of the keyboard. And you know what? I'm gonna keep the key track right there on the, on the middle. Alright, so now we are using the oscillator 1 and 2. We're going to decide if we want the oscillator number 2. But first, I'm going to go down on this one and down on this one because I want to bring the multi-engine. So on this one, we are going to be using a square. First, we're going to go to the middle and then just scroll until we get the one that says SKU1 or SKU1. Now make sure that the shape is all the way down, and if I play it, it's going to be like... It's going to be a square. Now what I want to do, I want to change the range of this one. And for this, we need to go to the multi-engine. So pressing the edit mode and then go to program edit. Right here, the last two are going to be around, it's going to be about the multi-engine. So the number 9, right? This one is going to be the multi-engine. So I'm going to go and make it 4. So now... it's gonna sound higher in pitch, just like the other ones. And then I'm gonna be doing exit. Right, so on this one, on the square, I want to do a little bit more, right? So I'm gonna go to the shape, and I'm gonna leave it all the way down. But right now, if I play a key, and we hold shift, I'm holding shift right now, and I move the shape, we are gonna be starting getting different types of sounds. Now let me show you right here. I'm just holding shift, and first it's going to do that, but when you play it and you move this, notice that it's just going to change the timbre of whatever it is that you're doing, because this is like the ratio. So I'm going to be standing around there when we hold the shift. It's going to be like 50%. It's going to sound like that. Sadly, we don't get values, but we're going to stand around there. Now we need to decide how much of the 2 and the 1 we want to do with the combination of the multi-engine. I'm going to stand around 55%. So first, I'm going to be bringing the first oscillator. And if I play something, right, it sounds super cool. If I go down this one, it's not that cool. So I'm going to keep it around 55, 60, and this one all the way down. Already sounds cool. Now, this one, we can bring it all the way up and see if we like it. It's just bringing something else to the table. Now, I'm going to go down on the range. And it's going to just, give us a different tone because this one is an octave down. So, if you don't like it and you want to remove that one, you can maybe go down in volume. Or maybe just turn it off. In this case, I like what it brings to the table, especially standing on that range. Right, so nice. Nice old keys. Okay, so let's take care of the effects, and I'm going to be turning everything off. The reverb is going to be off, the delay is going to be off, and we're going to start with the modulation first. Now this one now is going to be off, so if we play it, we know for sure that there's nothing in the background. So I'm going to be turning this on. And it will go wide because we are using a course. So the time we can go down, I'm going to be doing around 25%. And the depth, I'm going to keep it around 50. And that could be the whole patch. Just, some lo-fi keys, vintage keys, let's say. And the chorus is just going to make everything cool. But let's do a little bit more and let's see what happens. I'm going to maybe go to the delay right there. And I'm just going to turn the delay on. So I'm going to be doing a delay stereo. Maybe we can do a ping pong. Maybe that's going to be a little bit better. So I'm going to go right there and select the ping pong. And if I play something, yeah, we can get it. We can hear it. So this one is going to be the time, and this one is going to be the depth. And if we do shift and depth, is going to be the dry and the wet. So the time, I'm going to go up at some point. I kind of like that. Now this is the feedback. That's gonna be maybe too much, right? So I'm gonna go with less. I want something in the background. Now if we hold shift and we do depth, this is going to be the mix. So I want more of the dry, less of the wet. Something like that. Alright. So what else? Let's do a little bit of reverb. You know, it already sounds good. You don't need to do it. I'm just gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna go to the reverb, make sure that the reverb is on, and we need to select the type of reverb. And I'm gonna go right there and select the smooth one. So we have the time. If you go really aggressively, we're gonna start getting it now. Then we need to adjust the depth, and the depth is gonna be, I'm gonna put it around there, see what happens. Maybe it's too much. If we go shift and go all the way to the, up on the depth, we're gonna hear how the reverb sounds, and it's not a super aggressive reverb. So I'm gonna stand the dry and the wet around 50%, maybe a little bit less, like 48, let's say. I'm gonna keep it around there, and the time I'm gonna keep it around 50%. And maybe the depth, maybe I'm gonna go right there, 260, 55. Right, so that's gonna be the patch. If we play something, and you can do chords. Now we can even go a little bit more aggressive on the effects, just to, dampen everything and just make it more darky and lo-fi, but I believe that's fine. Alright, so this is going to be the patch. I'm going to be saving the patch, and remember, you can download this from the description. You have a link right there, and you can get it for free. Okay, so let's break it down. On this one, I want just, very common oscillator, not the, the multi-engine, but I want to do noise with the multi-engine so we can have an atmosphere with noise in the background. And then we're going to take it from there. I'm going to be going to the first oscillator. I'm going to do it a triangle. And in the second one, we're going to do it a triangle. Right? I'm going to go up on the oscillator number 1 around 70%. And on the mixer of the oscillator number 1, I'm going to go up on the, up to 70%. Now shape is going to be all the way down. And we're going to do the same thing than before. We're going to detuning sense the second oscillator. You can leave this one right in the middle. So this is going to sound pretty dull, right? So what I want to do with this one, I want to maybe stay right there, and this one is going to go all the way down in the, in the range. We're going to go low. So now we have a better combination of the parts. Maybe this one, I'm going to leave it right here. We can try later going up on this one. Now, since we are using a triangle, we don't have a lot of harmonics. That's just, what it is. But let's see if we can bring something with the effects and with the noise. Right here, you get the noise. I'm gonna select the noise right there. You have a lot of different types. I just want the one that says high. And if I go up, you're gonna see how it sounds. Maybe you're gonna go down on the other oscillators. It's gonna sound like noise. Now the shape, you can just tame it a little bit more. I'm gonna be going around, 40%, just to get some frequencies out. But that's what I want to do. Now, of course, this is not gonna be the volume. We're gonna go all the way down, almost like 10 or 15%, something like that, not something super aggressive. Now, still, we're going to go up on this one's 70, and on this one, I'm going to do 70%, just like we were doing before. Now, in terms of polyphony, I'm going to leave it on poly. Okay, so let's take care of the amp and the filter and everything else. Now, the VCF, the filter, I'm going to chop a little bit of the high frequencies. We don't have a lot, but we're chopping the noise pretty much. And I'm going to bring the resonance up around 15-20%. Right? If we play something, we're gonna get that low, low energy pad. That's what I want. Now we need to do the envelopes. Without this, nothing is going to sound like a pad. So I'm going to do a low introduction, around 70%, I guess, 65, 70. The sustain, I'm going to keep it below the 50s. Right there is the 50%. I'm going to go to 45. And right there on the decay, I'm going to go a little bit up more than the, than the sustain, because this is going to go up, then it's going to go a little bit down, and then it's going to stabilize on the sustain. So maybe I'm going to go a bit more up and we'll see how it sounds. The release, I'm going to go to 55, around there. And if I play something, a chord, I'm going to do just to try it. That's what we want. We want that, the oscillators. But in the background, we want that ocean sound. That's, the main idea. Now, since we are cutting quite a bit, we can do even less right there. We need to do maybe a little bit of cutoff right here. So I'm going to go to the EG intensity and I'm going to stay around the plus, of course, 50. Let's say, I guess, if we go from 0 to 100, actually this is going to be like, 20%, something like that. Then we're going to see how much we can do. I'm going to stay right there on the decay all the way to the bottom, and on the decay I'm going to go up from 50 to 55%, and we're going to stay on the cutoff. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to play something, just a chord. Let's see how it sounds. Maybe it's not too aggressive. Let's go a little bit more. Let's go all the way crazy. Now we get a lot of the ocean and then just chops it down and goes down. That's fine. Maybe it's too aggressive. I'm going to keep it around there. I like it. Now, if you don't like the triangles, because it's just too mild for you, you can just change the shape, go to a square, or maybe go to, I'm going to a saw right here and get a lot more harmonics. That's the plan, but I want to keep a low energy vibe right there, right here. All right, so that's it. So let's do a little bit of this. I want to do a little bit of modulation to the pitch, just like we did before. So I'm going to be standing on the pitch, and the intensity is going to be around 10%. Maybe do a little bit more and see how it sounds. I'm going to go stand on a triangle, and I'm going to stay on the normal side of things. And we are modulating the pitch of all VCOs. That's too much. The rate, I'm going to be around there. And this one I'm going to go up, I'm going to go down until it feels right. All right. That's fine. Again, a low energy patch. Maybe we can go up in volume. I'm going to go to the master and just go up a little bit more. All right. Sounds fine. In terms of the drive and the key track, this is completely up to you. I'm going to put the key track to 50%. So if I play low, it's going to be less aggressive on the filter, but if I play higher keys, it's going to open the filter a little bit more. Now, if I do drive, it's going to be maybe too aggressive, right? The drive on this synthesizer is way aggressive, so I'm going to leave it all the way down. All right, so we are pretty much done. That's going to be the main sound. Now, everything is going to come to a conclusion when we bring the effects, when we talk about the effects. So let's just do them right now. I'm going to be going to right here, making sure that everything is off, right? Delay off, reverb is off, and the chorus, it's going to be, the modulation is going to be off. Now, I'm going to stand on the mod, and I'm going to go all the way up and turn it on. We are standing on the ensemble. Now, we have a lot of different, effects. I'm going to be standing on the chorus for now. And remember that with the chorus, with the modulations, you have different subtypes. So by holding shift and going up on this one, it's going to give you different types of, of courses. It's stereo, light, deep, and they all sound a little bit different. Now, and I'm going to tell you something, and this is just my opinion. Now, the effects that we get on this unit are on the, basic side of things. So the sound is good that comes out. The effects are just, good. It's nice that we have them, but you don't have a lot of controls. They're pretty limited. So if you take this sound and take it to maybe a plugin on your DAW, or maybe to a pedal, like, the Strymon ones, or, a good reverb and chorus pedal, it's just going to sound way, way better. But again, this one we are just gonna work with the default ones, and we are standing on the chorus. We can go even to the ensemble. I'm gonna stay on the chorus, and remember this type is going to be the stereo one. There we go, stereo. And I'm gonna be playing something. Now this is on, and the chorus always does a lot for us. Now I'm gonna keep the time around 50 and the depth around 50. Now, since we have a long release and we only have 4 voices on this device, if we play something and then when we release the keys, we play, really fast, it's gonna choke the other voices. That's the downside of just having 4 voices, but that's the way it is. Okay, so let's go to the reverb. Maybe let's go to the delay. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna turn it back on. And remember, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm gonna do a ping pong. You know what? I'm gonna go to the ping pong, but the ping pong BPM. And on this one is the time. I'm gonna go up on the time, and let's see. The depth is like the feedback, so I'm gonna go down like to 50%, and I'm gonna keep the mix around 50%. Not too aggressive, not too crazy, just to give us a little bit of atmosphere. Right. Now let's do the reverb, and I want a big space. If you don't want to do this, this is fine, because this one, the reverb I'm going to bring, is going to give us a tone, like a modulation and detuning in the background. So I'm going to go to select, and I'm going to keep going until I find the one that says space. So this one, it's weird. If I play it, it sounds nice. I release it. And there's kind of a modulation right there. So maybe making sure that it's on, of course. I'm maybe gonna take the time to there and the depth to 50%. And as soon as I play it, it's gonna be that. If you take it off, I feel like something is missing, so I'm gonna keep the reverb on, and again, make sure that you are on the space one. If you want less reverb, you can do shift and go down in the mix, by doing shift and depth. But in this case, I kinda like it around 50. Fine. Okay, so that's gonna be the patch. As soon as we make a chord, we're gonna get that smooth, tiny, little pad. And remember, notice how much the reverb is giving us in terms of modulation when we release the keys. Now, if you don't want this, you just can avoid it and just use a good old hall reverb. Right? It's completely up to you. And I'm doing just, Right, so this is going to be the patch. I'm going to save it, and you can download the patch from the links at the description. Okay, so that's it. Just two tiny little patches. You can download them from the description, of course. And this is like the vibe of this series. I'm going to be showing you some couple patches, and then we break them down. And the whole purpose of this is not just to give you patches, is so you can do the patch with me, and you can, learn to use the synthesizer and have some practice. So if you liked all of this and you find this useful, remember to like and subscribe. And if you have the money and you want to buy me a coffee just to say thanks, you can go to the description. You have PayPal, you have Patreon, and you have YouTube. Thanks. Okay, so see you on the episode number 2.